And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Urban Blaster. That's right, from Denver, Colorado. Urban Blaster got me hooked up with this nice t-shirt, and the series that we're going to be doing is Grand Arena 3 versus 3 and Grand Arena 5 versus 5, and the 3 versus 3 in honor of Urban Blaster is going to be called the Triple Mollywop series. That's right. And then we're going to have the Rainin' Blood series, which will be the 5 versus 5 Grand Arena. I hope you really enjoy this new series. What we're going to do is go through and analyze my actual battles with other individuals, and we're going to go through kind of where my characters are at, what I was thinking. You're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're going to see some good gameplay and some bad gameplay. Today, we're going to start with one of my favorite little off-the-wall teams that I love to use on offense. As you can see, it is Darth Vader Zeta Lead with Gamorrean Guard and Canderous Ordo versus Rebels. Now, these aren't your run-of-the-mill basic Rebels. These are the Phoenix. They're completely maxed out. They're very well modded. And now in the future, I'm going to try to do my best to capture my opponent's information. But I have about 10 to 15 battles I just kind of pre-recorded over the last few weeks when I was really busy in February. And I've got some of that footage I want to showcase. Just be assured, in Grand Arena, they're pairing me up against individuals who have maxed out their rosters just like me, and they've made some interesting choices with their Zetas as well as their Gear 12, Gear 12 Plus. This team I happened to be going against was super maxed out, but it was in fact just a Rebel team, so I figured I would take in one of my favorite teams to take in. So we're going to go in, we're going to look at that, but first I want to go in and show you how I had my Darth Vader modded, how I have Gamorrean Guard modded, and how I have Canderous Ordo modded. Okay, so here is my Darth Vader, and I do have him basically completely maxed out. He's got his Zetas, both of them. He's got all Gear 12, Gear 12 Plus, and then he's got all 6E mods. And if we go into the mods, you can see I have a speed set and a health set for him. Probably not perfect, but again, I'm just going to show you exactly how I had everything so you guys can kind of see where everything was at. With this, of course, it was a speed mod, and of course, this is offense and defense. On the bottom left, we have some protection with 15 secondary speed, so pretty good. And then on the bottom right, we have potency, 30%, which is really good, and 14 speed is great. And then, of course, I have a critical chance on him at 20% critical chance and 15 speed secondary. If we go and look at his stats, you'll see he's got about a little over 83,000 health and protection. His speed's 248, which is okay. His potency's at 70%, and then his physical damage is at a little over 3,500. Armor is actually almost 50%, 47 and some change, which is pretty amazing for an attacker. Probably one of the highest armor rates, if not the highest armor rate for an attacker. Now let's go ahead and move over to Canderous Ordo. Now, Canderous Ordo, I just recently got to 7 stars. In the filming of this video, he was actually only 5 stars because this was a few weeks back. So he is now 7 stars, and I got him to Gear 12, which he was Gear 11 in the footage. And I do not have his Zeta on him, but the rest of his abilities are maxed. His mods were just what I had. So if you look, I have a tenacity set and a critical damage set. Of course, there's speed there. And over here, I have critical chance, which isn't bad. 8 speed secondary, nothing to write home about. Put potency on him because he's applying debuffs, obviously, and 13 speed. Now, keep in mind the potency aspect of this team isn't as big a deal, and I'll explain why when we get into the footage. And then his protection with 9 speed. You can see my secondaries are not really that good. In fact, I have him right at 200 speed, so nothing to write home about. He's really only about 70,000 health and protection. His potency's only at 28%. His tenacity is at 62. Damage is at 32. Crit chance, I barely got to 40%. And his armor is pretty low at 28%, almost 29%. So you can see in the video, he'll be weak, but he's got a specific role for this team, and we'll talk about that. And lastly, that's right, the guy that everybody thinks is getting 3 Zetas that might be Darth Gamorrean Guard. is actually Gamorrean Guard. I've got his abilities maxed out. Pretty simple. I put gear 12 on him. I have not put gear 12 plus on him. And then I have a full 6 pieces of health mod sets. On the top right, I have critical avoidance. A lot of tanks benefit from critical avoidance. And then protection with some good speed secondaries and health. Potency with some protection, a little bit of health and speed, not much speed, a little bit of speed, more protection again, and health. So we're doing health. If you see potency, here is protection and critical avoidance. So mixing it all up, we've got some protection and health. 2.4% health is pretty good. And then of course here we have 2% critical chance, some protection, and a tiny bit of speed. His overall speed isn't very good. He's actually 165. He's a tank. I got his health, though, almost to the 50,000 threshold. That's really kind of important, and I'll explain why when we get into his kit. But protection is pretty good. And then his armor rate is right at 40%. If you can see, Darth Vader has better protection. Now, a lot of people know Darth Vader. We're going to go over his lead real quick and then how these two guys interact with his kit. Okay, now Darth Vader has a leadership ability that when zated brings about some really cool things. And the biggest part is it says when Vader is alive, enemies immediately regain damage over time for 2 turns when the damage over time expires on them. So when it expires or comes off, it just comes back on for 2 turns. What this means is that you're going to be able to stack a lot of dots or damage over time over an individual team. And eventually when he does his Culling Blade, he'll be able to do a ridiculous amount of damage. So with this, if you're going to run him as a lead and you're going to stack dots, you need characters that can do damage over time. Now, Gamorrean Guard has Hack and Slash, where on his basic, he inflicts 2 damage over time effects for 3 turns. So these will actually stack for 3 turns and then can expire and be renewed for 2 turns by Darth Vader's lead. This is 2 for his basic. Pretty awesome. On Muscle In, he will taunt and gain retribution. What that means is if he taunts, they hit him, he hits them back, puts 2 more damage over time. This is pretty cool. Also, the Gamorrean Guard gains protection when he taunts equal to 20% of his max health. Now you know why I went with health at 50,000, because he's going to get about 20%, which is about 10,000 more bonus protection when he taunts. So pretty good, not awesome, but decent. And then his last is pretty simple kit. Says it deals physical damage to a target enemy and exposes them. We know expose does 20% health damage, so this expose is another way to be able to take out a team. Canderous Ordo. And the reason for him is on his basic, he'll deal physical damage and then attack again. So he always hits twice. And on those attacks, he can do damage over times. Now, if the enemy had protection, and they almost always do, especially at the beginning of battle, he'll attack a 3rd time and put tenacity down. Now, the tenacity down is unavoidable. It's not something they can prevent. This goes right through, tenacity up or anything like that. They instantly on the 3rd hit will get tenacity down. You're going to see that in the video. This tenacity down ensures that when I try to do dots with Darth Vader and Gamorrean Guard, I'm able to actually apply them. In addition, he shoots 3 times and puts damage over time each time he attacks, because it says when he attacks a 3rd time, he inflicts that tenacity down. Now, this isn't huge, but his Mandalorian Veteran allows for him to gain 10% health steal and potency for each Old Republic or Scoundrel ally that he has. And the Gamorrean Guard is a Scoundrel ally, so he will get plus 10% health steal and plus 10% potency from Gamorrean Guard, which is pretty cool. It also says whenever Canderous deals damage to an enemy, it's just any enemy, anytime, he inflicts a damage over time effect for 2 turns. So on his basic, if they have protection, he'll hit him 3 times with that damage over time. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go through the battle and talk through it. Like I said, I want to show you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. Even if I make great decisions or bad decisions, we're going to analyze and talk about that. I wanted to make a video where I got to show huge 150,000 hits, and so in that I stacked far too many dots on these guys, and in doing so I actually ended up losing Canderous Ordo because I gave them too much time to work down my team. I have used this team since many times, and you really only need 8 to 12 damage over time to one-shot basically anybody, because you can do around 100,000 damage with your Darth Vader with 8 to 10 of those damage over times. So in this video, you will see I put an excessive amount of damage over time, and it is that reason and that reason alone that I actually lose a character. Now, I'm not showing you team comps that are, total meta, 100% meta. I'm not trying to do that, and I'm also not trying to show you perfect, clean wins. I'm going to do my very best each time I film it to do my best, but I want to show you just creative teams and how to play them out and the thought processes behind them. So let's get the video started. Now, in the beginning, you're going to see I go ahead and land the dots and speed down, and then Canderous goes and he hits everybody. He also adds dots anytime he deals damage. So then I hit a couple more damage over times, and right here, she already has 6 damage over times. It's not quite enough to one-shot her, so I'm going for a basic, which is an ability block. He's going to shoot once, twice, 3 times because she had protection, and now she has tenacity down. Now it's just all but assured that I'm going to always get all of the debuffs on this character that I'm looking at getting. Now he's taunting, and he has only 3 of the debuffs, damage over times, so I'm going to go ahead and do basics. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3 again. Now he has tenacity down and 6 damage over times. This is getting really quick. There goes the expose. The expose is now on there. Now we're going to do the AoE, and they added dots to all of them. I did a basic. Now he has 7 damage over times. They expired and they renewed. There's 8, there's 9, there's 10. Now that I have 10 on him, I am able to basically throw my Culling Blade and one-shot him. You'll see in the video, we're going to go through this. I basically want to make a really amazing hit, and it ends up actually being to my detriment. You can see my team's virtually untouched, and I could take out Chopper, and instead I go ahead and arrogantly continue to stack the dots. It was fun, though. I'll tell you, it was a lot of fun. So now I have Culling Blade, and instead I did the basic, which I shouldn't have. And now I'm going to use basic. He's dazed, which is why he didn't take those additional. Now he's got 14 damage over times. I could Culling Blade him again, and instead I go basic, because again, I'm trying to stack, and I don't know why I went so crazy on the dots. He's got 15 dots. I could Culling Blade him now, and again, I don't. So again, don't go crazy. You are looking for points here, and the most points you get are for people with full health and full protection. So don't play around and do what I did and spend too much time. Just stack them up to about 8 to 10 and Culling Blade them. Right now, I could Culling Blade Hera Syndulla, and instead, I just do a basic. Again, I was having fun trying to stack as many dots as possible. At this point, I could have already done Culling Blade twice and killed 2 of their characters. I go ahead and apply more dots. At this point, I now have 19 damage over times on Chopper, and here I'm going to apply more. I've got 21 on Chopper. Now he has another Culling Blade to either one of them would kill them. I finally Culling Blade her, and if you notice the Culling Blade, 163,000. This is far overkill. She only had about 75,000 health and protection total. This is way overkill. I should have thrown this way sooner at Chopper, and she should be dead now as well. Now I have to wait for my Culling Blade to come back. Chopper, with the amount of damage over times, is going to just die out, which is another way of dying. But right there, I lost Canderous, and the reason why I lost him was because I was fooling around for way too long and gave my team the opportunity to get whittled down by the opposing team. And Zeb is Zated and is very powerful. Now, Chopper is going to take a turn, and when he took a turn with 22 damage over times, it just killed him. And now all I got to do is kill Zeb, and the good news is I'm starting to wise up, and at this point I realize I've got 17 damage over times. This is far in excess of what I need, so I go ahead and decide enough's enough, and I go ahead and throw the culling blade. It doesn't even show the damage that I did. It just shows he died. And you can see I got 48 banners. Now, a couple of things on the point system. The first is you really want a first attempt victory no matter what. Bottom line, if you lose a few points, that's okay, but you don't want to have to go in and mop up. You want to always go in with your team and walk away a victor because you get basically double the points on a first-time victory. So make sure that you're taking in more than enough to be able to win and win successfully. Now, I got my victory, my first attempt, and I got 2 surviving units. That should have been 3. It was my arrogance that caused my surviving units to go down to 2. And then full health, I very easily could have finished this off with 3 points for full health. So there's 4 points that would have got me to 52, and I possibly could have had protection on some of them. So possibly between 52 to 55 based on where I was at. But it's okay. I got a first-time victory, and I got to use a really fun team. What are your guys' thoughts on this particular team? Is this a team that you guys want to try in Grand Arena 3 versus 3 or 5 versus 5? Is it something that you guys can even build? And keep in mind, you can use this virtually against any B-level team. So we're not going to take this team against a meta team like, Revan or Treya or CLS. But if you want to take it against any B-level team, it works and works very, very well. Now, the one team that you absolutely unequivocally don't want to take this in against is going to be a Kylo Ren team, because if you put those dots on Kylo Ren, you make him nearly invincible, and you don't have any way of stunning him with this particular team. So that would definitely be an Achilles heel for this team. Keeping that in mind, if you ever see this team on defense, know that you can take Kylo Ren in by himself and mop this team up very easily for a bunch of bonus points. Hey, if you guys like the series and you want more of these videos, please leave a like to let me know so I can gauge the amount of likes versus other videos. And make sure you leave comments down below on what you thought of the video and the video series. And again, shout out to Urban Blaster for our Triple Mollywop series. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.